Greetings, Seekers. This is Black Pope Vice. I'm going to make a video today, a short video on non-magical modalities being used as a means of gauging how the kami, familiar, monster girl, spirit, however you prefer to call them. I use these terms often interchangeably. I prefer to use kami these days because that's a bit more technical and less vague. Like white is a vague term, but let's talk about some terrariums and things like that. So with this one, now this is an Amphiriti that belongs to Cirrus, the girlfriend who lives with me. And if you look at this area right here, this wasn't always like this, and this was completely dead a while ago. And what really changed, besides food offerings, the first thing I noticed with, besides adding, daily offerings of different types of food and drink and stuff like that, was I just put this enclosure on top of it. It makes it look nicer. Maybe it makes it more like a greenhouse because of its temperament. And now, when we look at, I'm just erecting a quartz crystal. If you look there, there's little green sprouts sprouting into the dirt. And the rocks are becoming mossy. Now, over here, this is Spirit Dancer. She's one of the first high agency spirits I've encountered in my research into this. When I first found our habitation circle in the wild, there was white, like moss, fungus spores, and there's something right there. There was crystals there. The runestone phylactery was there, a big labradorite piece was there, another crystal was there. And those were white, and that's white. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm taking it as a code of indication. Perhaps I will take her merlinite phylactery, paint the wunyo white instead of a black, so I'll have to get a new one and just use this for someone else. Maybe that'll make her happier. But her terrarium used to be kind of like half and half, green, half brown, and now the green is coming back, and in the corners on the left, right over there, and the corner over there, there's little white spots that are like moss or something. The moss sometimes, or the fungus, or the moss and fungus will turn white. And Spirit Dancer likes the white color. That's it over here. Now, in terms of using energy, because some of these entities need energy sources, and with my sage plant, until I added this energy regenerator, I need to add more regenerators here because I think it's affecting the plant growth, and I'll talk about that more in a moment. But my sage plant had aphids until I added this. So there's a lot of things that can happen to the plants that suggest there's the spirit is taking energy from the plant source. And the reason why we use plants and crystals and things like that is so they don't feed off us. One of the things I first read about spirits, about how they could be dangerous, was from a Chinese source, and they talk about how they shorten their lives. And it's like, well, it's because this Chinaman didn't figure out how to feed these entities. They just thought, oh, we're just going to interact with these invisible entities and not give them any food. That's what it is. My strawberries over here. The reason why I've cultivated these strawberries is they produce fruit in the winter, and now they're just not producing, and I've noticed that they just don't have any sort of runestone and G regenerators. So I made a mass projector over here, but I think what we just need is just more individual ones. And sometimes the simplest modality is just using a single fairy coin, as I like to call them. you know, depending on how these, you know, color and things like that. For instance, an earlier take, I don't want to get it back out again, but an earlier take, there was a moss coin that, for a white Sealy, that was just, it just never got green no matter how many times I watered it. And then when I started offering yogurt offerings at Ritual every night, I don't use yogurt anymore. I use just unpasteurized milk, but it started turning green. This is Marathi, the dark elf. Her fairy coin is always very, very green and very nice. And right now she has 2 flowers on her jasmine flower. And they're doing pretty well health-wise. So, you know, she's a very happy girl. I'm going to update all of them later. So, in conclusion, there's a lot of ways to tell without, you know, tarot or pendant or other sorts of, you know, just being patient, being quiet. There are visual cues you can use with your terrariums or your plants to gauge the health and temperament and such of your familiars. So, yep, that's it. Black Pope Vice out.